$250 for a single car tire is a pretty good chunk of money. I just recently replaced every single one of my tires for about 450 bucks. You may be asking how I did this. I have a Ford Ranger and a little bit of finesse. But $250 for a singular bicycle tire was unheard of until about a month ago, at least for me. These are Vittoria Pista Oros, a $250 tubular track bike tire. Firstly, they are tubular, so if you don't know what tubular are, let me explain. Tubular tires go on tubular rims. Tubular rims are somewhat U-shaped, and the tire is a full circle. So when you blow it up, it turns into a full circle. The tire also has a tube inside of it, and it's one full casing. It doesn't have a normal clincher or bead on it, just like any regular tire would, like tubeless or just clincher tires. So how it gets put on the rim is it gets glued or taped. I prefer tape, but a lot of higher end track bikes usually get glued because glued has a lot more performance relatively. It's very minor, but you know, still better performance. The structure of these tires are actually super cool. Usually it's an inner tube, either latex or just regular rubber, and then it's a Kevlar on the outside, and on the bottom there is some type of adhesive stickiness. It's not adhesive stickiness, it's something that would easily attach to something that is adhesive such as tape or glue, and on the top of the actual tire is a bunch of rubber and different compounds that they use for your actual contact surface. And typically tubular tires are actually pretty pricey. Tubular tape is around 20 bucks as well as tubular glue, and you have to reapply it every single time you put on a new tire. You can't really reuse it. Also, the tires are really expensive. The cheapest I get is like on a Black Friday sale, and it's about $20 a tire, but I have to buy like 5 to 6 tires. But they're usually around $40 or more. The most I ran was a $120 tubular tire that I got on sale for $60, and damn, that was clean. Like, oh my gosh, I can't explain how nice it was to ride that tire. And that brings me into my point about how I actually came across these tires. I was searching deep into many Chinese websites and Google, and trying to find tubular tires for a pretty good price. Luckily, I did find some for around 20 bucks with a shit ton of discount. Mainly because I bought probably 120, 140 bucks worth of them. But surprisingly, I came across this tire. I'm like, what? 250 bucks for a tire? What does this tire have? Is it made of gold or something? Now, if you ask anybody who rides a track bike, yes, this would essentially be made of gold, the tire. Like, the amount of compounds are insane on it, as well as the type of materials they use. Also, the pros, such as the rolling resistance and weight, it's insane. But before this moment in time, I never really thought tires went over $150, especially bicycle tires that would go over $150. So, to say the least, I was intrigued to look into it because these things look beautiful. The main question I have, as well as probably you guys have, is why the heck are these tires $250? I've even seen them listed for $325 at one point, which is stupid. Personally, you would not be riding these on the road. You'd be riding them in a velodrome type style, such as on hardwood inside of a velodrome. So if you do ride them out on the street, they will get eaten up. Like, I guarantee you within 500 miles, you will be just running on Kevlar. These tires need to be on a velodrome hardwood floor to have the matched amount of friction applied to them. Good friction, not bad friction, because surface area, more friction, more power is able to be put down and out throughout your bike. And the type of bikes these tire goes on is insane, sometimes reaching up to $80,000 a piece. Go check out my YouTube video on the $80,000 bike that failed. And yeah, these tires are not for the normal day-to-day use. They're made to put on Olympic track bikes that will be going at least 60 miles an hour around a track. So you need something with very low rolling resistance, very reliable, very hard, sticky. And the crazy part about it is these tires can go up to 200 PSI, which 200 PSI is a lot. The most I ever ran in a tubular tire was about 130, but I've had some that could go to 165. Essentially, the more air you put into it, I think the less rolling resistance you will have because of how stiff the actual tire is. On the site, it says this tire is a track-specific compound designed for wooden track surfaces. And the crazy part about it is these tires are stupid light. Like 175 grams light, which if you don't know, 175 grams is basically as much as your saddlebag might weigh, which is insane. I know I'm kind of glazing on these tires, but I'm just blown away by them. Essentially, these tires are just surrounded around peak performance and peak capabilities that you could possibly put on any type of bike. So again, the only use scenario is probably on a track bike. I mean, really only on the highest end of track bikes. Even the regular day-to-day riders on track don't really run these things. So in reality, they're not useful anywhere else except a velodrome or on a track, which I guess is the sucky part about it. I'd definitely love to ride them one day, especially on the road to see how they perform. They are race slicked, so if I do go out and it's rainy, might have a bit of a problem with that. But nonetheless, I think I'll fly on these things. I don't know. I'm just like, oh, dude, I'm just smiling right now, man. The real reason is because I noticed the difference between a $20 tubular tire and a $100 tubular tire, and that difference is massive. You feel way quicker on a bike. So I'd like to imagine how much of a difference on a $20 tubular tire and a $250 tubular tire. Pretty surreal if you ask me. If anyone's out there and willing to donate one, hit my email. But relative to a $100 and a $200 tubular tire, this does bring the question of marginal gains, because usually the more you go up, the very marginal price difference will equate to performance. That's just usually how it is with pretty much all types of bikes. Like, there's not a lot of difference between a $8,000 bike and a $10,000 bike, but you'll notice a difference between a $2,000 bike and an $8,000 bike, if you get what I'm saying. But nonetheless, this begs the question, would you ever spend $250 on a bicycle tire? Probably once I have a bit of fuck you money. Yeah, why not? I mean, I'd love to try these, but as of right now, doesn't seem like I have the funds for it. But hey, if you watch to the end, make sure to like and subscribe. I do post YouTube shorts daily, so make sure to follow for that. And if not, have a great rest of your day.